What's up, teammates? We back with another video.
Back, and we got some good information for y'all today. So get y'all notepads, pen, and paper out. Let's get it going.
By the title, you already know what we about to talk about. We're about to give y'all all the info about how we get around and how you can get around Merida.
Often people will say, you know, you need a car, you don't need a car, it's cheaper. You know what I'm saying? Without any further ado, we're going to break it down, okay?
As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
And make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss none of these upcoming videos. Let's get into it.
From D-Town to H-Town, you know that I got you, girl. Know that I'm gonna love you forever. It's my town and your town. Now that we're here, we gon' build this empire together. When you smile, I smile. As long as I got you, I'm gon' make sure that you smile forever. Two down, I'm so proud. No matter the weather, we gon' pull through the storms together. You're my queen and I'm your king. You're my love, my everything. You have my heart and yours with me. I'm feeling like it's destiny.
Okay, so as I stated, people will tell you that you need a car, you don't need a car, whatever. For our specific situation, we do not have a car in Merida.
A lot of people wonder, like, if I move to Mexico, what am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna have to drive my car out there? Am I gonna have to get my car shipped? A lot of people come here and they don't have cars. Like, you can literally just come here and figure it out when you get here. But today we will tell you some of the apps that you can use, how much they cost, what to expect, and all of that in this video.
So make sure y'all stay tuned and watch the whole video through. There are several different apps you can choose from. For us, we only use two, Uber and Didi. You also have InDriver, and then I believe it's a few other ones. But that being said, we're gonna break down the differences between Uber and Didi and what is the purpose of using two.
So we've been here for over about a month now. So what we did is we actually looked at the receipts and our bank statements and all of that, and we put them all together. We added up all of our trips, and today we're gonna tell y'all how much that costs and let you know if it's worth not having a car and it's worth using the apps or whatever.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'll go first. So the app that I chose to dissect is Didi. So I feel like Didi is a very cool app. I think it's real simple. I'm not really a tech person like that, but it's real simple for me to use. I literally just add my card on there. Just like, you know, Uber or Lyft or whatever back in the States, you tell them where you're going, where you're coming from, and they, you know, will let you know, all right, there's a driver coming, and it's that simple. Yeah,
it's gonna tell you how far the driver is away, you know, and it's gonna tell you in minutes and in distance, and then you'll also be able to see them on the map coming towards you, and if they're gotta complete another stop, all of that good stuff, just like it works back in the States. Now, a lot of people feel like they're gonna have trouble with transportation because they don't speak Spanish or their Spanish isn't too good. The apps translate for you. So if you type in English, they'll be able to see it in they'll be able to see it in Spanish.
So for instance, say we called a Lyft, or not called, we ordered a driver and we're at Walmart and we're like, and on the app we can see them like circling around or they're in the area, but it says that they're there. You can send a message that says, hey, I'm here at the spot, or you can just let them know like, hey, where are you, in English, but on their side they'll see it in Spanish. So you'll have no problem communicating when it comes to like getting a ride. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about.
Now, when you do get in the car, they are gonna speak Spanish, so you just need to, you know, get you a couple Duolingo lessons in, and you'll be good to go.
Most of them do speak Spanish, but sometimes you'll be in the car, and sometimes we'll think that they don't speak English or whatever, and we'll just be in the back talking, and once we get out, they're like, all right, bye, see you later.
Have a good day.
We're like, what? You understood? So, you know, just conversational Spanish when you get in the car. Hola, buenos dias, good morning, you know, little small stuff, it'll get you by.
Absolutely.
And they'll probably just ask you, Walmart? And you're like, see. And, you know, it'll take you to Walmart. So let's get into it. So the month we did was from March 28, 2023 to April 28, 2023. So for Didi, all of our rides totaled up to 3,179 pesos and 80 cents. So that is $176.36 USD. So $176 for a whole month. of transportation, going from here to there, to there, to there, to there, all around the city, anytime we need to go somewhere.
I feel like we move around a lot more than the average person, so, you know.
Yeah, and I was going to say that, like, don't take this to heart because, like he said, you know, some people live in Central or other places where it's easy to get around. You don't need a car. I should have said that in the beginning. Our rates may be a little different because depending on where you are, you know, some parts of the city you can get places just walking distance. Where we live, we need a car to go different places. So because we don't have one, we have to use the driving apps and stuff. So
for Uber, we spent 3,429 pesos. That is $190.15 in USD.
So we spent $176 during that month for Didi, which is one driving app, and we spent $190 on Uber, which is another driving app, and that's us going anywhere we need to go.
That's paying cash, card, anything. But our grand total is $366.51 for those who may not have their calculator out.
So $366.51 USD for a whole month of transportation going from here to there and everywhere.
Some days we take 2, 3, 4 rides. Some days we might just take one ride, and then also you can do like multi-trips. So if you need to just go one place and then come back home, you can do that as well. So that's a way to kind of get around it. And then one more thing I do want to add is that depending on the time of day, really factors into how much that ride costs. So you might want to leave at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and that ride somewhere may be 100 pesos. But
and
if
that's PM.
Yeah, PM. Sorry, that might be 100 pesos. But if you look at it in like early in the morning or something, that ride might be 45 pesos. You get what I'm saying? So it just depends.
If you don't understand the pesos, he's basically talking about the traffic times. Just like in Houston, we know that if we want to go somewhere from one side of the city to the next side of the city, we might not want to go through those traffic times. That's 3 o'clock when kids get out of school. That's 5 o'clock when people get off of work. Same thing with Merida. It's like if you know it's around traffic times when kids get out of school, people getting off work and stuff like that. That same ride from here to that place may be, like he said, 100 pesos, which is around $5. Other times, if you wait a few hours before or after the traffic goes down, then it may be maybe $2.
Yeah, so literally. So you got to be cautious. I wouldn't say be cautious, but if you're budget conscious, make sure pay attention to those times because that can, change how much you're spending significantly.
And I do want to add, one thing that we did not mention is these rides, like we were just talking about, they vary in price. We never talked about how much one ride would be and how much a ride would be. So I'll give you an example. So if you're wondering like how much it'll be for each ride, it does vary with traffic, the time of day, the date, like the day of the week and all of that. It always varies. So for example, for one trip, we paid 31 pesos, which is like a little over $1. For another trip, we paid 118 pesos, which is a little over about $4 or $5.
Do we have the time?
Yes. So the 30 pesos, the one for 30 pesos, a little over $1. It was at 10:26 a.m. So that's morning time. And then for the one that's 118 pesos, about $4 or $5, it was at 6 p.m. So you can tell that the 6 p.m. is a few dollars more because of the traffic and all of that.
And of course, we probably went a little further with the more expensive trip or maybe had multiple stops. But it's just to give you an example of how much you can expect to spend on a typical ride, depending on the time of day that you do it.
And honestly, the typical ride, it might cost like a little over $1, so 30 pesos. It may cost $2, $3, $4. It's not expensive. So if you're thinking about Uber or Lyft or something in the States where it's going to charge you $12, $15, $17.
Especially if you're in Houston, man, you're spending $50 to go places.
If you're thinking about that, it's not that. It's $1, $2, $3. It's still not too bad.
So when you see that $5, when you're here for a while, you might be like, oh, $5, 120 pesos is crazy. But when you look at the gist of things, like, it's still $6.
Because if we was in Houston,
$7, you know what I'm saying?
If we was in Houston, we couldn't pay to go nowhere for $5,
They're not
$6,
even
$7.
picking
So they're not even about to look your way for a $5 trip. So, you know, here in Mexico, $5 is a little expensive. If I see $5 on Didi or Uber, I'm like, oh, do we really need to go here? But, you know, it's not that bad.
So let's give them a breakdown, like what the differences are in the
ride shares.
Yeah.
So I'm not really a Uber girl. Like, I don't know, Uber don't really work like that for me. I like Didi because I think, in my opinion, Didi is a little bit less expensive. I can always find a $2 ride from here to somewhere else, a $3 ride from here to somewhere else. So I always find cheaper or less expensive rides on Didi than I can find anywhere else.
That's true. I agree with that wholeheartedly. The thing I do like about Uber is, well, I have issues with Didi because they don't always take American debit cards. So a lot of times you may need to pay with cash or, you know, a Mexican debit card if you have one of those. But Uber never have issues with your my debit card at all, and you can pay cash. That is something that you can't do in the United States that you can do here. You can pay for your rides with cash after you get to your destination. But Uber picks you up in much further places. Like, say if you were to go to the north side of the city where it's kind of rural, it wouldn't be too many Didis out there that come pick you up. You can count on Uber, you know, picking up. They might be a little bit further, but they're gonna pick that ride up. Didi, not so much if you kind of like out the city, from my experience.
I feel like Uber is a little bit more bougie. I feel like, but I will say though that Uber, because they are a little bit more bougie, their cars are a little bit more nicer.
I hear that Uber pays their drivers less than Didi does as well.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I hear. I'm not sure if that's true. I'll have to interview some drivers and get back to y'all on that, but that's what I hear. So a lot of people try to support Didi because they know the drivers are getting a little bit more money. But like she said, their cars are a little bit better. They're more willing to turn their air conditioner on.
In Uber, right?
Yeah, in Uber. Okay. Yeah, their cars are a little bit better in Uber, and they're willing to turn that air conditioner on a little bit more in Uber rides, from my experiences.
Didi is a little bit less expensive, which is why I like them. But if you get in Didi, they might not have no AC.
Might not have no seatbelts.
You know, seatbelts might be not working or whatever. But hey, you're going to get to where you need to go for about $2. Yeah, I know.
It just depends on how bougie you are, man. You got two great options right there. And like I said, you also have in-driver if you want to do that, where you basically like negotiate a rate. You put how much you're willing to pay to where you're going, and driver will pick it up. We don't use that because we need to get to where we're going. We ain't got time to be negotiating and stuff with drivers.
Facts. So as we said earlier, I'll give you the number again. We spent $366.51 in USD for 1 month of transportation around Merida, Mexico.
Some people might say, whew, that's a lot of money. But then other people might be like, damn, I paid $400 for car insurance. So,
and I'm not gonna lie, hey, that's how I feel. I'm like, hey, when we was in Houston, car insurance was up there and car note was more than this. So I'm like, you know, it's not that bad.
Yeah. But for me, I don't think this is going to be a long-term thing for us, just because we like the convenience of being able to move around when we're ready to move around. We don't want to be at the wheel of when a driver can pick our ride up, because if you don't know, it gets really hot out here. So if you go do something and you're waiting 10 minutes on a driver, you're literally going to melt out in the sun.
Literally. So, and then it's like, you know, we are both like, we just like to get up and go when we're ready to get up and go. So if we're at the mall and we got a whole bunch of bags, we don't want to be standing outside waiting for a Didi driver or Uber driver to come if they feel like coming, when they feel like coming. And sometimes it's cool or whatever, but you know, when we ready to go, we ready to go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where we at. If we ready to go, we want to move around. You might want to drive to the beach or whatever. You don't want to have to deal with hiring a private driver, paying all that type of money, or dealing with Uber and Didi, you know, leaving you stranded somewhere.
Some people do have cars out here, y'all. Like, don't think that everybody is taking these. This is just what we do. And some people have cars. Some people drive their cars from the States to Mexico.
Some people buy cars when they get here. Some people do long-term rentals. Some people do rentals bi-weekly, monthly. You know, there's many different options. So for anybody, you know, you got to see what works works for you like we see what works for us. We spent the month, you know, doing the Didi and Uber, and now we know, like, okay, a car is coming soon, because we cannot keep doing this.
I can't keep calling the Didi and the Uber. Like, it's just too much. So yeah, that's our next step. You know, we will eventually start looking at cars and trying to see how we can get a vehicle out here, because we're tired of the Didi and we're tired of the Uber. But now we know how much it all costs, and I'm glad we did this, because it made me see how much we've been spending on these rides and not even thinking about it or noticing.
Because you literally just hit request a ride, tell them where you're going, and they on their way.
Simple.
When you're using your car, it's kind of hard unless you like literally auditing your bank account or your statements all the time. So us making this video made us really go through and calculate like how much we're spending and look at it. Like, this is the first time I've seen it. When I was adding it up, I'm like, ooh, this look like a little expensive, but you know, that might just be me being cheap and like wanting a car, because I'm like, yeah, that don't make sense to me. But you know.
But I agree. I'm like, you know, this is cool, you know, $2 rides, $3 rides, it's cool, you know.
But we residents.
At this point, and that's another thing. Like the first time we came, y'all know, the first time we came to Mexico in 2020, we was just here for a few months. So Didi, Uber, all of that was cool. Like, you know, we not here for too long, whatever. But now that we're here, we got our residency, we like, okay, we're gonna be here long term. This not gonna work out for too long. But if you are just here for a week or a month or a couple months, I definitely would not say
go get a car.
I would say use these apps that's gonna pick you up for $2 and $3 and get to where you need to go, because you can literally go anywhere you need to go.
Yeah, and then you don't have to deal with no parking if you're going to Central. You don't have to deal with, you know, any of those things. But as you're here for a little bit longer, you kind of like, okay, the parking situation might not be too bad. I'll figure out where to park at. As long as I got my car, we'll figure all the rest of that out.
Yeah, so we will take y'all through the journey of us getting a car, getting our license, all of that, and I'm ready for that.
Yeah, so that will be another video, of course, and if you stayed this whole time, we really appreciate y'all.
Make sure you leave a comment below and let us know if you are here in Merida, how do you get around? Do you have a car? Are you using these apps? Which app is your favorite? If you're not here yet, what do you plan to do when you get here?
Let us know your preferred method of transportation, because we may not even be doing it right. We may be doing it wrong. So let us know something that we may not know already. We don't know it all. We're trying to figure it out with y'all.
Yes, and before we go, I want to invite y'all to check out our TikTok. We've been TikToking and talking and ticking.
Man, I thought that was a young folks app, but now we on that thing, so make sure y'all tap in with us.
TikTok is the same name as Teammatetv on all platforms. It's
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Teammatetv.
Y'all let us know if we forgot something, because we'll get on that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So we appreciate you for sticking all the way to the end, and we hope that we gave y'all some information that y'all can use. So as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
And make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss no upcoming videos.
And until next time, peace. All right, y'all, we forgot to tell y'all one thing. Aside from the driving apps and getting a car, a lot of people do something else.
You can hire a personal driver. It's a very easy process. Most of the time, the groups that you're in on Facebook, you know, you can just hit the search box and see who people recommend. You know, their rates vary depending on the driver. You can expect to spend, you know, 200 pesos an hour, 300, 400 pesos per hour, just depending on who you find.
And 200 pesos is about $10, 300 is about 15, 400 is about 20. So
it used to be. It used to be.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying around about. I'm not exactly sure. Y'all know we always put the numbers, so we'll be exact. But yeah, so about $10, $15, $20 an hour, you can find a personal driver, and he'll take you wherever you want to go.
Wherever you want to go, they'll stay there as long as you're paying them, you know. And you know that a lot of people feel more secure that way. We do utilize that service when we want to go to the beach or we want to go somewhere outside of the city, and we plan on being there all day.
Yeah, so we do have a private driver, and y'all probably know him.
Miguel.
Yeah,
y'all know Miguel.
Y'all know
Miguel.
Miguel.
Watch our videos, y'all know Miguel.
Yeah.
But Miguel is the guy we use when we need him.
When we need him to like drive us anywhere, pick us up, whatever we need, and we don't want to use Uber or Didi, Miguel.
I was going to say, when we're going further out the city and you don't want to have to rely on Uber or Didi, because sometimes it's just places that's a little too far that you may not, you're like, ooh, is it an Uber driver out here that's gonna take me home? That's when you need that private driver.
For example, in our last video, we went to get our new puppy from the adoption place, and the adoption place was really far. It was like 30 to 45 minutes. So we definitely was not about to take a DD or an Uber. So we just called our private driver, and he picked us up at the time we asked him to, and he helped us while we were there, and dropped us back off at home.
Not saying every driver is going to translate and help you do your business processes, but we've known Miguel for years now, so he helped us with whatever we need him to help us with. He'll carry, help us with the groceries, all that type of stuff. So you may run into somebody that's, you know, willing to do all of that for you, but don't expect it.
And if you can't find a private driver, just use your rideshare apps as long as you can. But private drivers is definitely another option to use if you move into Merida or live in here and just need to get around.